Coronavirus. Now I'm a racist. I'm a pedophile for making a video laying down in a bed because I'm so cold to get out of it because I can't use the heat. I've got coffee, I've got food, cooking to try to get warm, but now you've got to say, well, okay, bearded man, why don't you just go work for the socially the socially in charge genius? And then it's like, well, have you ever been assaulted by one of those people? Have you ever had your door almost kicked in by a war veteran? And been so scared to make a video for medical school applications because your neighbor over there is listening to your voice because their emotions are very sensitive and their skin feels every single temperature change. And the landlord downstairs will come knock on the door when the words get too tricky and when the voice gets too loud, it's just too exhausting. Have you ever coughed and had someone look at you like they wanted to murder you so they didn't get the coronavirus? And said what I just said out loud and got depressed? Have you ever had the African American man, the black body restricting enforcement, Seattle Police Department, and their institutional democracy and then had the next person and the next person and the next person and the next psychedelic and the next drug and the next explanation get more and more sad and have to watch as these bearded and these big fucking breasted people who say fuck you said word now, and then have to consider the alternative choices and decisions for how a person leaves this kind of simulation in this kind of freaking world. Outer space. Oh, there's a wall. Turn on the heat until I boil. Oh, no, because then I'll get beat to death by the wall shaking. Jump out the window. No. You make blood, you clean up, you get off the pavement before you die and you clean it up. Wrap the flags, tie them up, and choke myself to death with the jujitsu decision. My arms are too short, I'm too fat, I'm ugly, says the social worker. Stare at the wall until the illusion and consciousness never make me hungry again. Pretty fucking hard. A lot like how people just walk around with their phones during coronavirus in the grocery store next to their boyfriend. How the little child goes and walks with his dad and has a perimeter and then goes in the crosswalk with the phone in his hand looking at the phone while he's crossing the crosswalk next to his father. who live in a nice house and have technology money, big time dinero. Brain surgery. My cord is not long enough. I cannot cut and saw and take piece by piece unless I have a sharp knife. Have you ever known someone who cuts their body and then makes numbers? Cuts their arms so everyone sees and starts to talk like this so that the people like me eventually will get figured out because they're making this voice and they are not allowed. It is restricted. It is not okay. The behavior and the gesture now are wrong and need to stop. Have you ever remembered had a memory and tried to rid the brain, mind, and body of the memory because the world wasn't such a simulation and all around people weren't treating the world as if it's a video game because they got a book off Amazon and they read it on their Kindle and they heard this audible part of the conclusion describing all the parts to be free. Beat my head until it's dead with my bare fist. My ohms would go, Om Mani Padme Hum, and they would get messed up. I would get yelled at while I'm dying because I'm being disrespectful to the shaman who put the words and the letters and the ink on my hands. Pour a boiling hot of bone broth on my skull. Stick my head in the oven and remember Sylvia Plath and not have to think about that creepy fucking nastiness down the hall. Ah, it's morning! Who wants some crack and meth and some rainbow flag? Take that ugly bitch's walking stick and fucking shove it in my fucking head. I can never find that walking stick when I need to commit suicide because she's such a fucking bully, like the person over there, like the person down there, and the person in the world, and the people that they're friends with, and their whole social circle. Run against the wall until I kill myself, making sure to go head first. The Seattle Police Department would show up and shoot me with their gun and then taser me for not fucking dying when they said to fucking go to hell. The noise, you know. They told me last time, next time you make noise, they're gonna fucking put 2 fucking bullets in my head. And every time I say fuck, then I get another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And when I say a word and I make language, they'll throw me out of a helicopter. without a parachute. Electrocute myself with this video device. Not enough power. Take the electrical outlet, plug it into a wire, connect another wire, engineer a mechanism, and then get in the shower and turn on the water. The circuit breaker would blow. Drown myself in the sink. I'd vomit from all the water in my lungs. Have my hand choke my throat until I can't breathe anymore. My hand hasn't had food yet. It's too cold. Have you ever tried to contact outer space aliens to come and just flat out save you? From people who restrict the brain and then keep the body tied up with their hormones, their strength and their power and their honor, and their smells. Have you ever seen a king cobra? Have you ever seen a snake take a little animal into its mouth and swallow it? Goo-goo, goo-goo, goo-goo. And try to figure out how that thing would even digest. Have you ever stared at a screen on a video being made on an iPhone and said to the future school you're going to apply for medical school, you know, I'm sorry, I keep repeating words, I keep doing the same old shoot gosh darn heck. And every time I say, hey, you guys are in a simulation, you know, you should just eat your fucking fungi and go swallow your fucking ugly fucking shit. And then thought about what was just said from the voice attached to the body, attached to my body, in the brain and the mind, inside were these eyes, these ugly gosh darn eyes, this ugly face thinks and has thought, dreams, and then gets old and dies.